After the crimson and amber leaves have drifted away on the autumn breeze, before the spring sap begins to flow, this sleepy, hushed season settles along the shores of Greenleaf Lake. The early morning water is glass, save for the few graceful slices cut by a feathered traveler, but it then gently ripples to glass again. It's during this crisp season when the permanent residents take over the landscape. Yes, that's a special time to experience Greenleaf State Park, south of Muskogee near Braggs.
Greenleaf State Park has beautiful scenery year-round. I mean, from the vistas that you have now to the spring redbuds and dogwoods that bloom, it's spectacular then. Summer months, of course, we're surrounded by Cherokee game management area and areas with restricted public access. So there's no noise, there's no construction anywhere around the park to intrude upon your stay. And the scenery is just gorgeous year-round.
This park has its own personality. It's small, but it feels big because it's so secluded. The cabins are cozy and rustic, and they blend right into the hillsides, where after a rain, little rippling streams rush down to meet the lake.
All of our cabins were constructed back in the mid-30s by the WPA, and then German prisoners of war laid the rock on 4 of our cabins. And our cabins are neat, cozy little cabins made out of stone.
And then there's cabin number 15, the cabin on the lake. The one that sits alone right on the water, the one with features so special it stays booked much of the time.
This cabin is the first cabin in the state of Oklahoma to be constructed entirely for the physically challenged individual. Everything in the cabin is totally accessible.
The cabin was built and donated to the park by the Telephone Pioneers of America. From its ramp leading down to a private fishing dock to its inside amenities specially designed for people with disabilities, it provides a unique getaway where no one feels excluded from the joys of a stay by the lake. It's open to anyone. However, people with disabilities get preference for reservations. After all, it was built for them.
Smile to the camera!
If you could choose only 2 words to describe Greenleaf, they would probably be family-oriented. The park caters to families with children and plans year-round activities. A trout pond just for kids is stocked several times a year. Tournaments test their skills and they seem to love it. Hook, line, and sinker. The Nature Center is a must-see for kids.
Now, does it feel nasty?
Close views of native wildlife, arts and crafts, wagon rides, there's always something. These little guys have crossed the natural barriers between their own habitat and ours after they were separated from their mothers. Something that is not encouraged, but it's still kind of fun to see.
We hand feed them in a pen here and bottle feed them, and then we let them go, and consequently they're somewhat quote-unquote tame. They'll hang around the park. We also have a flock of wild turkeys, and then we've got Canada geese that hang around, a lot of the other wildlife, so we have a lot of wildlife here.
This little spot in eastern Oklahoma is a quiet oasis where nature blooms, flocks come and go, and you could snuggle up by a roaring fire at night. Then greet the morning chill with a steaming cup of coffee and a view that will settle in and stay in your memories forever.
Our employees give everything they have to make everybody's stay exceptional.
It is so peaceful out here. I love it. By now you've seen how beautiful this place is at all times of year. You've seen all the different activities there are to do. I just have one recommendation for you. If you come out here and you plan to take a canoe out, I highly recommend that you bring along someone who's not carrying a camera so he can help paddle. For Discover Oklahoma, I'm Becky King.